Who'd like to go first? Manny?
Any updates on Minter, just his timetable and the severity of his lat injury?
Yeah, all we know right now is we're dealing with a pretty significant injury here. So he continues to talk to multiple people to see what we got here. But the one thing we know is pretty significant.
Tim?
Is surgery being discussed in those second opinions?
It is on the table. So, and that's why we're providing him with all the information so he makes the right decision. So that's why we're still waiting and talking to multiple people.
And would surgery be season ending?
Yes.
Who's pitching for you tomorrow?
We know that Brandon Waddell will be here, and he will play a part of that game tomorrow. Whether he's going to start, we got to get to today's game and see whether we want to go with an opener or he starts the game.
Like a Hagenman situation?
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty similar, yes.
And would you expect this sixth starter to slot in just this once, or would you want him again next week in Phoenix?
We got to wait. Let's get through tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.
Howie?
Carlos, even though Rodriguez has not put up great numbers against lefties this year, I'm sure that was the reason, theoretically, for resting Brandon today. But was there anything else that went into it?
No, I'm not resting Brandon, especially after that game last night. He's just sick today. He's in rough shape right now. We got a lot of guys dealing with this flu, whatever we want to call it, and fever, pretty weak. So he's getting an IV right now, and hopefully he's a player for us at some point today. But we gotta give him a couple hours. But as of right now, he's pretty rough.
Dan?
Do you have a timeline for Raleigh when he might be available?
Well, he's throwing bullpens, and he's going to go down to Florida and continue to throw his bullpens. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks he start facing batters, and then we'll go from there. But he's already throwing bullpens, so that's a good sign.
Tony?
Just back to Minter for a second. Do you have an expectation for how long this process will take in terms of gathering the information that you need?
Yeah, no, we should probably, another day or two. So we got multiple people, and then he's obviously got to make a decision here.
So he wouldn't need to get more opinions beyond what he's already seeking. Right
That's
now.
no. I think he's just now gathering all the information and making a decision here.
If he does not go the surgical route, is it plausible that he could rest and rehab and be back?
Yes, that's one of the options as well. So, but again, he's pretty significant here. So,
Jerry?
Carlos, was Brandon playing through that yesterday, or did this get him after the big game?
it's been going on, but I think last night and this morning, that's when he got him pretty good.
John?
Yeah, I know you guys had faith in the rotation, but a lot of people viewed the rotation as kind of, an iffy spot going into the season. You have a 2.29 ERA. Are you surprised at all? And what do you think about so far? All five starters have pitched well.
Yeah, and we knew that we knew we had depth, and the depth was the quality of it too. Even when two guys went down early in spring training, we felt good about our chance, and then here they are, doing their thing, taking the baseball, knock on wood, and not only that, but giving us a chance to win day in and day out. And that's good to see. So they're more than capable of. I know there's a lot of noise outside of this building, but for us, we believe in those guys. But also understanding they're human, and hopefully they continue with this pace, but we also know that this is a long season in baseball too. So,
Tim?
Just to follow up on Minter again, whether he has the surgery or rehabs and is still out for a while, what sort of blow is that to your late inning bullpen picture?
Oh, it's a big blow. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of those, not only because of his ability to throw high leverage, but his ability to get lefties and righties. He's a big blow for sure, but guys will step up. Guys will continue to get opportunities, and we got to keep going. sucks for him, especially going down this early. But again, guys will get opportunities.
In the back.
Yeah, obviously with the potential loss of AJ for a good amount of time, how much more important does a guy like Max Kranick come into the picture? Another good outing, 12 pitches, struck out a guy yesterday. How valuable does someone like Kranick come into the mix for this really good bullpen?
Yeah, and I think regardless of this injury with AJ, he's been super valuable. He's been huge for us, and especially with some of the ways we've been using him. When you probably have to call his name because a pitcher went down. It happened back-to-back outings. And he comes in and he continues to get the job done. We feel good about, a guy like Kranick's getting righties and lefties. We feel good with some of the other righties that we got in the bullpen, that their abilities to get left-handed hitters out. And that's what I said, like, people will continue to get some opportunities, and Kranick's is one of them.
Laura?
Though it's early in the season, especially with this injury to Minter, how much thought do you put into load management with your bullpen arms in terms of how that'll affect down the line?
See, we've done it with all of them, and here we are facing an injury with a guy even that we try and protect big time, trying to give him proper rest, and still went down, So that's why, even as hard as it is to going into a game knowing that you don't have certain guys, whether it's an Edwin Diaz or a Rick Garrett, like, these are some of the things that this early we have to manage, and making sure that you're playing the big picture too. So unfortunate, and we will continue to take care of the guys.
Howie?
Carlos, is Diaz simply being managed based on workload, or is the hip a little bit of a concern that you're managing that as well?
It's just workload. The hip is, as we sit here, it was that day. He got treatment. The next day, it was fine. He called it a camp. It's just more like us managing the workload, not only with Diaz, but especially after what we're dealing with AJ Minter. Like, we have to be. There's been few situations now where, like, Rick Garrett was, we're staying away from here, or Kranick's, like all of them. So that's part of managing 162 plus. So
Good. Thank you, Carlos.